Welcome to this sacred moment. The night has fallen and yet your soul has found no rest. The world outside sleeps, but inside you there is a storm that never seems to quiet. Thoughts race like unending waves, fears rise and fall like shadows, and silence, the very thing you crave, feels heavier than noise. You lie awake while the hours move slowly, wondering if peace will ever return. Depression has wrapped itself around your heart, and the weight of sleeplessness has become a language your body now speaks. You feel unseen, unheard, and perhaps forgotten. But tonight, heaven whispers differently. This prayer is not coincidence. It is a divine appointment. The very fact that you are here means God has heard your silent cry. He has seen your struggle, the nights you've battled invisible pain, the mornings you've risen with a weary soul, the days when even breathing felt like a burden. Heaven has sent his warrior to stand beside you, Saint Michael the Archangel, the protector of minds under siege, the defender of those crushed by invisible battles. When your strength fails, his begins. When your thoughts turn against you, his sword of light cuts through their darkness. Look around you now and feel it, the stillness that follows when divine presence enters the room. You are not alone in this night. The Lord has appointed his archangel to fight for you. The same warrior who cast the serpent from heaven now fights for your peace. Every moment of this prayer will become a step toward freedom, each word a flame that drives away despair. Over the next 21 days, Saint Michael will guard your nights and restore your soul. So take a deep breath. Let go of the thought that you are too broken to be healed, too tired to fight, too lost to return. This is not the end. This is the beginning of restoration. Depression does not define you. Sleeplessness does not own you. You belong to the light of God, and that light has already begun to move. Tonight, the war within you ends not by your strength, but by his. And the one who stands guard at heaven's gate now stands guard at your bedside. When darkness speaks louder than peace, St. Michael answers. When the mind becomes a battlefield. There are wars that leave no scars on the body, yet wound the soul so deeply that every thought becomes a struggle. Depression and sleeplessness are not simply conditions of the mind. They are battlegrounds where light and darkness contend for the heart's peace. The enemy rarely appears with violence. He whispers instead, soft lies dressed as truth. He says, "You are alone." He says, "You will never be free." He says, "You are too tired to pray." And slowly the voice of despair begins to sound more familiar than the voice of God. But do not mistake these whispers for your own. They are not who you are. They are the echoes of a war that seeks to silence faith. The mind is holy ground. It was the first place God touched when he breathed life into Adam. It is the garden where thought becomes creation, where choice becomes eternity. That is why the enemy fights so fiercely for it. Because when the mind loses peace, the soul forgets hope. Yet this battle is not lost. Saint Michael the Archangel, the prince of the heavenly host, knows this war well. His sword once divided truth from deceit in the heavens, and tonight it divides the same within you. Every thought that speaks against your worth, every voice that distorts God's promise, must bow to the authority of light. The mind can become a prison when thoughts are left unguarded, but it can also become a sanctuary when surrendered to grace. The first step in healing is not to silence your thoughts, but to invite truth into them. Depression thrives in isolation, but it withers when confronted by prayer. Sleeplessness feeds on fear, but it weakens under divine presence. Each time you invoke Saint Michael, you declare that your mind belongs not to darkness, but to God. You command order over chaos, clarity over confusion, calm over torment. It is written in Philippians chapter 4, verse 7, that the peace of God surpasses all understanding and will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. That promise is not a metaphor, it is a reality. The same peace that calmed the sea when Jesus spoke now waits to calm the storm within you. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are not a captive of sadness. You are a child of God, and heaven's warrior has entered your battle. Saint Michael does not come to comfort your weakness. He comes to restore your strength. When his sword flashes, despair loses its grip, and when his wings cover you, fear finds no room to speak. Tonight, decide to stop fighting yourself. The war within is not your burden to carry alone. You have called upon the commander of heaven's armies, and he has answered. From this moment forward, your mind is no longer enemy ground. It is holy territory, reclaimed, guarded, and filled with light. The hidden cry God hears in silence. When words no longer come, and the weight inside becomes too heavy to describe, God listens not to your speech, but to your silence. There are nights when you cannot pray, when the mind feels too tired and the heart too numb. You stare at the ceiling in the darkness and wonder if heaven has forgotten you. Yet in that very silence, a different kind of prayer is born, one made of tears, of breath, of endurance. What you think is emptiness is in truth a sacred language that only God understands. Every sigh you release is heard in heaven. Every sleepless night is written in his book of mercy. Psalm chapter 56 verse 8 says that God keeps your tears in his bottle and records them in his scroll. Nothing that hurts you is invisible to him. You do not need perfect words to reach the divine. You need only honesty. When the world grows quiet and despair begins to whisper, your stillness becomes your offering. In that hidden surrender, grace descends like soft rain over dry ground. Depression tells you that silence is abandonment, that God is distant and uninterested. But the truth is that his greatest works often begin in silence. The seed grows in darkness before it breaks through the soil. The dawn remains unseen before it lights the sky. In the same way, God is working beneath your silence, unseen yet unstoppable. What feels like emptiness is actually preparation. What feels like distance is his way of drawing near in a form you do not yet recognize. Saint Michael stands with you in this hidden prayer. Even when your lips do not move, he fights for your soul. When your strength is gone, his presence sustains you. He brings your silent cry before God, carrying it like incense before the throne. The Archangel does not wait for your perfect words. He responds to your need. He knows the pain that cannot be spoken, the fatigue that keeps you awake, the ache that has no name. And because he stands in the light of God's presence, he turns that unspoken pain into a plea that heaven answers. So if tonight you have no words left, do not force them. Breathe instead. Let your breath become prayer. Let your heartbeat say what your mouth cannot. In the silence where you feel alone, heaven is closest. God is not ignoring you. He is listening in a language deeper than sound. The proof of his love is not always seen in what changes instantly, but in the quiet strength that allows you to endure until it does. You are being heard even now, in the stillness, in the exhaustion, in the ache that feels endless. Your silence is not defeat. It is a sacred place where divine mercy dwells. And in that hidden space, Saint Michael keeps watch, carrying your soul's cry into the heart of God. Nothing is lost. Nothing is unseen. The silence that feels like absence is, in truth, the beginning of healing. Saint Michael, the warrior who brings peace to the mind. From the beginning of creation, Saint Michael was not only chosen as the defender of heaven, but as the guardian of divine order itself. His very name, who is like God, proclaims a truth that pierces through every layer of confusion and despair. There is no power, no darkness, no suffering that can equal the greatness of God. When the human mind becomes entangled in depression, fear, and sleeplessness, it is not merely the body that suffers. It is the soul's harmony that is disturbed. In that hidden battle, where faith trembles and thought becomes a storm, Saint Michael rises as the warrior who restores peace to the inner world. He stands as the protector of the mind, for the mind is sacred ground. It is the place where the Word of God takes root, where decisions of eternity are made, where the battle between light and darkness is fought daily. When this sanctuary becomes a battlefield, confusion takes the form of exhaustion, and despair whispers louder than truth. Yet Saint Michael is sent precisely into this chaos, not to destroy what is fragile, but to lift it toward the light. His sword shines not to harm, but to heal. It cuts through the shadows of fear that obscure clarity, dividing the voice of despair from the voice of God, and bringing back to the soul the silence that listens rather than suffers. Every anxious thought that torments the weary mind is like a chain forged by unseen forces. Doubt, guilt, shame, and fear tighten their grip until faith feels small and prayer feels impossible. But when the Archangel descends, his presence burns through those chains. His light exposes every lie that says, "You are alone," or "You will never be free." He reveals these for what they are, distortions meant to keep the soul in captivity. In his presence, even the darkest thought must bow before the truth of divine mercy. The mind begins to remember its purpose, to think with hope, to imagine with faith, to believe in peace. Saint Michael does not only fight against external evil, he defends the interior peace of those who love God. The enemy seeks to invade the human mind because it is the gate to the heart. If the mind falls into turmoil, the heart loses direction. But when Saint Michael stands guard, the mind becomes a fortress. He commands the thoughts that bring despair to be silent and calls forth remembrance of divine promises. His voice does not thunder. It resonates like calm strength within the soul, a whisper of light saying, "You are not forsaken." In that instant, anxiety begins to yield to order, and the mind rediscovers its alignment with heaven. In Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, the scriptures declare that war broke out in heaven, and Saint Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. That ancient war did not end when the heavens were purified. It continues within every human being who seeks peace in a world that breeds restlessness. Depression, fear, and confusion are only modern forms of that same rebellion. They are the shadows that attempt to dethrone divine truth within the soul. Yet the warrior who once cast down the dragon still fights with the same authority. His battle cry, "Who is like God?" echoes through your own mind when you call upon his name. It is the sound of liberation, the reminder that darkness has limits, but God has none. When you invoke Saint Michael in your struggle, you invite heaven into the most intimate part of your being, your thoughts. His presence begins to untangle what seemed impossible to heal. The racing mind slows. The weight of confusion starts to lift. Fear gives way to focus, and despair to clarity. This is not fantasy or self-suggestion. It is the grace of divine order re-establishing its rightful place. For where God's warrior stands, disorder cannot reign. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine Saint Michael standing beside you. His armor gleams like lightning reflected on still waters. His wings stretch wide enough to shelter your entire being. The flame of divine truth burns in his gaze. He lifts his sword, not in violence but in blessing. And as its light moves through your mind, thoughts that once tormented you fall silent. You begin to breathe again, slowly, deeply, as if inhaling the peace of heaven itself. That is what it means when Scripture says that the peace of God surpasses all understanding. It is peace that does not reason. It simply reigns. Depression tells you that your thoughts define you, but Saint Michael reminds you that your thoughts can be redeemed. Sleeplessness convinces you that peace is distant, but the Archangel teaches that peace is not a place. It is a presence, his presence. Each night you invoke him, he renews the battle for your freedom. Each prayer you speak becomes another command that drives away despair. You are not powerless, and you are not alone. The same angel who defends heaven now defends your mind. When you call his name, heaven answers. When you place your fears in his hands, he lifts them to God. When your heart feels too heavy to pray, his voice prays for you. There is no thought too dark, no memory too painful, no night too long for the light he carries. And as you rest under his protection, a quiet transformation begins. The chaos loses its strength, and what once was a battlefield becomes once again a temple. The peace you long for is not distant, it stands before you, radiant and alive, carried by the warrior who brings heaven's calm into the storms of your mind. The 21-day covenant, entering a journey of healing. Healing is rarely instant. God often works through time, shaping the soul slowly, layer by layer, teaching it to trust again, to breathe again, to hope again. This 21-day prayer is not a test of endurance, but a sacred covenant between you and heaven. Every day within it is a step toward freedom. Every night becomes a place where faith replaces fear, and light begins to inhabit the spaces once filled with despair. You are not entering a routine. You are entering a process of divine renewal, one that Saint Michael himself will guide. For 21 days, you are invited to create holy rhythm in your life, because healing follows rhythm, just as the sea follows the tide. Depression and sleeplessness break rhythm. They disorganize the inner world until nothing feels stable. But through prayer, order is restored. When you pray at the same time each night, your body begins to recognize peace, your mind learns to expect silence, and your soul begins to understand that it no longer fights alone. You are establishing a covenant of trust, one night at a time, until faith becomes habit and peace becomes your nature. Each of these 21 days carries spiritual meaning. The first 7 symbolize divine creation, days in which the Spirit of God formed light out of chaos. The next 7 represent purification, the removal of what no longer serves peace. The last 7 complete the journey, days of renewal, where the old self gives way to the restored soul. By the end of this covenant, your spirit will have walked through darkness into dawn. This is not superstition, it is transformation through perseverance and grace. Saint Michael will walk beside you through each phase. In the first days, he will cut through the heaviness that has settled upon your heart. You may feel tears, weariness, or resistance. This is the battle beginning. In the middle days, he will fortify your resolve, helping you confront what once felt unbearable. And as you approach the final days, you will sense something deeper, calm where panic once lived, hope where exhaustion once ruled, peace where noise once screamed. The Archangel's presence does not remove struggle, it teaches your soul how to endure with divine strength until the storm loses power. To enter this 21-day covenant, you do not need perfection. You need only persistence. You may feel weak one night and strong the next, restless one evening and peaceful the following one. Yet every prayer counts. The angels measure not the perfection of your words, but the consistency of your surrender. Each time you show up before God, even in silence, heaven responds. The very act of returning to prayer each day builds the foundation of healing. Depression may fight to stay, but it cannot dwell where the name of Saint Michael is proclaimed. Sleeplessness may attempt to persist, but it weakens when your spirit learns again to rest in the presence of divine guardianship. This is not merely a series of nights, it is a sacred pilgrimage of the soul. Each evening you pray, imagine yourself walking through a corridor of light, guided by Saint Michael's hand. Behind you the shadows of despair fade. Ahead of you the radiance of peace draws near. You are not walking alone, Angels travel with you, carrying your prayers as offerings before God. By the final night, when you look back, you will see not the same person who began. The storm within will have calmed. The heaviness will have lifted. And even if the world outside has not changed, the world inside will be transformed. This 21-day covenant is heaven's invitation for you to partner with divine healing. It is God's gentle way of saying that time is not your enemy. It is His instrument. Each night is a chapter in your deliverance, and Saint Michael is both your protector and your witness. Do not rush it. Allow the rhythm of faith to do its quiet work. Healing does not shout, it whispers. It grows like dawn, slowly, beautifully, inevitably. Stay the course, keep the faith, and let each prayer draw you closer to the freedom that has already begun. Naming the chains, breaking the silence of suffering. Every healing begins with revelation. What remains unnamed continues to have power, but what is brought into the light begins to lose its strength. Depression and sleeplessness thrive in silence. They feed on unspoken pain, on thoughts that are hidden and never confronted. Yet when you dare to name what afflicts you, heaven begins to act. Saint Michael's sword cannot strike what has not been revealed, but the moment you expose the darkness that has held you captive, his blade descends with the authority of God. There are chains that do not rattle, yet they weigh down the soul. They are made of fear, guilt, loneliness, exhaustion, and shame. Fear whispers that tomorrow will be no different than today. Guilt convinces you that your suffering is a punishment. Loneliness says no one could understand what you feel. Exhaustion drains not only your body, but your will to rise. And shame tells you that no one should see your weakness. These are the invisible shackles the enemy wraps around the spirit, one by one, until hope feels like a distant memory. But the Archangel of Light was created to shatter these very chains. His command is simple, yet powerful. You will not live as a prisoner to what God has already redeemed. Tonight, begin to speak truth where lies once ruled. Say aloud what you have feared to admit, not for the world to hear, but for heaven to witness. If sadness has lived inside you, name it. If anxiety has tormented your thoughts, bring it to the surface. If guilt has kept you bound to the past, present it to God. When you name your pain, you invite light into it. Light does not fight with darkness, it replaces it. Saint Michael stands before you as the bearer of that light, ready to cut away every chain that confuses your identity and burdens your soul. This act of naming is not confession of defeat, it is declaration of war. It is to look the enemy in the face and say, "You no longer have authority over me." Depression loses its silence and sleeplessness loses its grip when you refuse to hide what hurts. Saint Michael fights best in the open. His light is truth, and truth frees. That is why Christ said in John chapter 8, verse 32, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." Truth is not merely spoken, it is experienced as revelation. And revelation is the sound of chains breaking. Imagine now that your words become light as you speak them, each phrase rising like a spark that reaches the heavens. Saint Michael's presence intensifies as you name the shadows. His wings spread wider, his sword gleams brighter. Each confession becomes a signal for battle, and the unseen forces that tormented your peace begin to tremble, for they cannot dwell where a soul chooses truth over fear. Every word of faith you speak is a blow against the darkness. Every moment of honesty becomes the beginning of freedom. It takes courage to face the pain you carry, but courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite it. And in this decision, you are no longer powerless. You are a participant in your deliverance. Saint Michael fights beside you, not instead of you. For healing is always a partnership between grace and will. The light of God never invades by force, it enters by invitation. Tonight, You have invited it. You have chosen to stop pretending that peace is impossible. You have named your chains, and by doing so, you have begun to break them. In the coming nights of this 21-day journey, you will feel the difference. Some burdens will lift gently, others will resist before they fall. But remember this truth: every time you name the darkness, Saint Michael strikes it. Every time you speak what once silenced you, heaven answers. The battle does not end in a single prayer, but freedom begins in one. Keep naming, keep trusting, keep surrendering. For what you bring to light, God will heal, and what you surrender to his warrior, Saint Michael will set free. Invocation of deliverance, the command of faith. Now the time has come for words to become power. The moment when faith stops asking and begins commanding. Prayer is not always a whisper. Sometimes it is a declaration of authority that heaven recognizes and darkness fears. This is the invocation of deliverance, not born of desperation but of trust, the kind of trust that moves mountains and silences storms. You have prepared your heart through reflection. You have named your chains, and now Saint Michael stands ready to act. The same Archangel who cast down Lucifer himself waits for your command of faith to release his light into the shadows that have tormented your soul. Stand firm within your spirit and lift your heart to God. Speak as one who has already been heard, not as one begging to be noticed. Let your words rise from the center of your being, carrying certainty instead of doubt. Say within yourself or aloud if you can: Saint Michael the Archangel, warrior of the Most High, I call upon your presence now. Descend with your sword of light and cut every chain that binds my mind, my heart, and my spirit. Strike down every darkness that hides in my thoughts, every fear that feeds my sleepless nights, every shadow that drains my peace. Surround me with your light and restore in me the order of heaven. These words are not poetry, they are spiritual warfare. When spoken with conviction, they create movement in the invisible realm. The mind begins to clear, the air around you feels lighter. The unseen world responds, because the authority you carry in prayer is not your own. It is borrowed from God himself. Saint Michael fights not by your strength, but by divine command. When you call upon his name in faith, heaven aligns with your voice, and what once held power over you begins to lose its place. Depression cannot withstand the sound of faith. Sleeplessness cannot survive in the presence of divine peace. The very forces that sought to enslave your thoughts now tremble, for they recognize the authority of God's warrior. Saint Michael's sword, burning with celestial fire, moves where your words point. The same flame that purified heaven now passes through your heart, cleansing it from despair and fear. You may not see it, but the spiritual atmosphere has changed. The darkness is not gone because you ignored it. It is gone because you confronted it with truth. Now continue this invocation with renewed strength. By the power of God, I command all torment to cease. I renounce despair, confusion, and hopelessness. I claim the peace that was promised to me through Christ, and I declare that my mind belongs to the light. Saint Michael, seal my thoughts in divine truth. Let no shadow return, and let your presence remain beside me tonight and always. Each line you speak becomes a decree of liberation, each word a blow against the enemy of peace. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, Scripture teaches that our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness. This prayer is that battle. You are not powerless. You are armed with the Word, guarded by the Archangel, and filled with the Spirit. Deliverance is not an event to be waited for. It is a reality that begins the moment you believe it. The chains you named are breaking now. The thoughts that oppressed you are being silenced. The exhaustion that consumed you is yielding to rest. Remain in stillness and feel the shift. The authority of heaven has entered your life. The Archangel has answered, and the battle has turned. Depression is no longer your master. Fear has lost its throne. The night, once a place of torment, has become holy ground. Stand in that truth and know this: your deliverance has begun. It is sealed not by emotion, but by faith, not by sight, but by divine promise. And as you breathe this peace, the voice of Saint Michael echoes in your spirit, a gentle yet powerful assurance: you are free, for the light of God has conquered. The flame of renewal, inviting the light of God into the mind. Deliverance is the beginning, but renewal is what keeps the heart free. When the darkness retreats, the light must enter and take its place. Otherwise, the emptiness left behind becomes a space where despair can return. Tonight, the light of God enters the mind, not as fire that burns, but as fire that heals. It is the flame carried by St. Michael, the same flame that once illuminated the heavens when evil was cast down. This is the light that knows no shadow, the light that restores what fear destroyed. It is not only protection, it is transformation. Close your eyes for a moment and see this flame approaching. It begins as a single spark descending from above, soft and golden, glowing like the first light of dawn. It hovers above you, waiting for your invitation, because grace never forces itself. Whisper in your heart, "Come, light of God." And in that instant, the flame expands, wrapping you in warmth that has no origin in this world. It moves toward your thoughts, the ones that never rest, the ones that replay pain, the ones that speak against peace. As it touches them, confusion dissolves like mist under sunlight. The mind begins to remember its purpose, not to serve fear, but to serve truth. Saint Michael stands beside you, holding that divine flame, guiding it gently into every corner of your being. It travels through your memory, cleansing images that once brought pain, rewriting every lie that said you were unworthy. The flame reaches your chest, and the heart, once heavy, begins to loosen its grip on grief. You feel it expanding, opening, trusting. It is not imagination. It is the Spirit of God at work, renewing what had long been weary. Every breath you take becomes prayer. Every heartbeat becomes surrender. The renewal of the mind is not a single moment, but a holy process. Each time the light enters, it builds strength where weakness once lived. The flame teaches the soul to breathe again, to rest again, to hope again. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, the Apostle Paul commands, "Be transformed by the renewal of your mind." This is what you are living now. Transformation not by effort, but by surrender. Depression begins to lose its hold, not because it disappears instantly, but because the light within you grows too strong for it to remain. Sleeplessness fades as your body recognizes what your soul has already received, the peace of divine presence. Let this light move through your entire being. It fills the air you breathe, the space around you, the very room where you sit. You are surrounded by warmth and clarity, and within this holy brightness, the Archangel whispers peace into the depths of your mind. The noise that once controlled you fades into silence. Thoughts that once raced begin to slow, not because they are forced, but because they finally feel safe. The light of God does not argue with darkness. It simply replaces it. Now speak softly within your soul. Lord, let your light stay within me. Let it fill every thought, heal every wound, and guard every dream. Let no shadow return, for my mind is yours. As you say this, the flame settles deep within you, no longer hovering above, but dwelling inside. It becomes a living fire that will continue to burn gently through every night of this journey. The peace you feel is not temporary, it is the seed of lasting renewal. This is the mystery of the flame of Saint Michael, a light that heals without consuming, a fire that sanctifies without fear. It is the same divine energy that holds the stars in place and keeps the soul from collapsing into despair. Where it dwells, rest becomes holy, and the mind, once a battlefield, becomes a temple. Let this flame remain with you as you prepare for rest. It will keep burning through the night, guarding you from darkness, guiding you toward dawn. And when you wake, it will still be there, the quiet proof that God has entered your mind, and through his Archangel, he has begun to make it new, the prayer of healing and rest. Now the heart is ready, the flame of light has entered, and the soul stands open before God. What follows is not a repetition of words, but a sacred dialogue, the meeting of divine mercy and human fragility. Prayer becomes breath, and breath becomes surrender. The goal is not to force peace, but to receive it. You have faced the storm, named your pain, invoked heaven's power, and invited the flame of renewal into your mind. Now, in this holy moment, you allow yourself to rest within the arms of the one who loves you beyond measure. Let this prayer rise from the depths of your soul. Saint Michael the Archangel, faithful warrior of God, I open my heart before you. Guard me through this night and silence the noise within my thoughts. Drive away the shadows that haunt my rest and the memories that disturb my peace. Heal the wounds that I cannot reach with my own strength. Where despair once lived, let hope take root. Where exhaustion weighed me down, let divine strength arise. Cover me with your wings of light so that no darkness may enter my dreams. Let my sleep be a sanctuary where heaven restores me. Pause now and breathe slowly. Imagine your body as a temple that God himself is healing. Every muscle softens, every thought slows, every fear withdraws. You are not falling asleep, you are falling into grace. The prayer continues to work even when your consciousness fades, for the soul never stops praying. Saint Michael remains at your side, his sword lowered in peace, his presence filling the room with quiet vigilance. His gaze rests upon you as the guardian of your rest, watching not to judge, but to protect. This prayer is not simply for tonight. It is the foundation of your 21-day healing journey. Every time you repeat it, the mind remembers safety and the body learns to rest again. Sleep becomes more than physical recovery. It becomes an act of trust. Depression weakens each time you surrender your night to God's keeping. Anxiety loses ground as faith builds new rhythm. Every prayer before sleep is a declaration that you will no longer let darkness dictate how your night will end. Now continue the prayer with the voice of a child speaking to a father who listens with tenderness. Lord, you who created me in love, look upon my weariness and heal me. Teach my heart to rest in you. Let my dreams be touched by your peace and my body restored by your mercy. Take away the weight I cannot carry. Wash my mind in the light of your truth and fill my soul with your spirit. I renounce every thought that does not come from you, every fear that does not serve your purpose, every sadness that blinds me to your goodness. Renew me tonight, and when I wake, let me rise in your peace. These words do not vanish when spoken. They remain alive in the presence of God. Even if you fall asleep mid-prayer, heaven continues it for you. Saint Michael stands watch, finishing each sentence you begin, translating every sigh into a language only angels speak. In his light no thought can harm you. In his shadow no evil can touch you. The Archangel guards both your waking and your sleeping, ensuring that this night becomes part of your healing. Let your final act be surrender. Release what has not been resolved. Forgive what still hurts and trust what you cannot understand. The same God who renews the stars each night will renew you. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are loved beyond comprehension, and the proof of that love stands beside you now, radiant, silent, unshakable. As you close your eyes, whisper once more, Saint Michael, guard my rest, heal my heart, deliver me from all fear. Sleep then, not in weakness but in victory. The battle is no longer yours. Heaven has claimed it, and its warrior now stands at your door. The night is no longer an enemy, but but a cathedral where your soul finds peace. Rest in that truth, and know that as you dream, Saint Michael continues to whisper over you the same promise that drives away all fear. You are safe, for God is near. The night becomes holy, sanctifying rest. There is a moment in every true prayer when time loses its weight, when the soul no longer measures hours but lives in eternity. That moment comes now. The night, once heavy with fear and sleeplessness, is transformed into holy ground. The same darkness that once seemed to threaten now becomes a cloak of divine stillness. You are no longer lying in the night. You are resting within it, wrapped in the breath of God. Saint Michael stands guard, not at a distance but beside you, his wings forming a radiant shelter around your bed. The silence you feel is not emptiness, it is the presence of heaven listening. Rest is not weakness, it is the language of trust. To rest is to say, I believe that while I sleep, God works. In Genesis, after creation, the Lord himself rested, not because he was weary, but because rest completes what work begins. In that divine pattern, you too are called to rest so that grace can finish what your strength cannot. Depression may have taught you to see the night as an enemy, as a place where thoughts multiply and fears whisper. But now the night becomes your ally, a cathedral of renewal where angels minister in silence and healing is written into your dreams. As you breathe slowly, realize that sleep is not absence of awareness. It is surrender to divine rhythm. When the mind surrenders, the soul begins to speak. Each heartbeat becomes a prayer of gratitude, each breath a confession of faith. The Archangel listens to these silent offerings and carries them before the throne of God. Even without words, you are praying. Even in sleep, you are in conversation with heaven. For those who love God, rest is not separation. It is communion in stillness. Imagine the scene around you now. The room grows dim but alive with unseen light. At the foot of your bed, St. Michael's armor reflects the faint glow of divine presence. The air feels lighter, as though every fear has been replaced by peace. His sword rests against the ground, its flame extinguished not in defeat but in victory. His wings are half-folded, his gaze fixed on you with the calm of one who knows that the danger has passed. Outside, the world continues to turn, but here inside this sacred stillness, time itself bows before the presence of peace. In Psalm chapter 4, verse 8, it is written, I will both lie down and sleep in peace, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. These are not mere words. They are the promise you are living now. The Lord makes you dwell in safety. The mind that once could not stop turning begins to rest because it recognizes that the battle has ended. God is now in control. Saint Michael stands as his sentinel, ensuring that nothing of darkness crosses the boundary of your peace. The walls of your home are surrounded by angelic light, and even your dreams are under divine command. As sleep draws near, imagine the night as a great ocean of peace stretching before you. You are not sinking, you are floating, carried gently by unseen hands. Each wave that moves beneath you is a breath of the Holy Spirit, rocking you into rest. Each whisper of wind through the darkness is the sound of angels keeping watch. The world outside may still be restless, but here the night is sanctified. You are no longer its prisoner. You are its anointed guest. Before you drift into sleep, whisper once more, Lord, I entrust my rest to you. Guard my mind, heal my body, and restore my soul. Let this night be holy, and let my dreams carry your peace. As you do, you can almost feel the weight of St. Michael's hand upon your forehead, a blessing, a seal, a promise that even as you sleep, you remain under heaven's care. The night has changed its meaning. What once symbolized fear has become sanctuary. What once echoed with silence now sings with peace. This is what sanctified rest means, to allow God to work in the darkness, to let the night itself become your prayer. While your body sleeps, your soul continues to worship, and the Archangel keeps watch until morning. You will not wake in the same spirit that fell asleep. The light of dawn will find you lighter, freer, renewed. For tonight, the night became holy, and within its stillness you met God. The promise of dawn, light after darkness. Every night, no matter how long or heavy, ends the same way, with light. The dawn is not a question. It is a promise written into creation by the hand of God. It reminds us that darkness has limits, that despair cannot last forever, that silence is never the final word. Each sunrise carries a whisper from heaven saying, "You have endured, and I am still with you." This truth is not poetic, it is sacred reality. For just as the earth cannot resist the coming of light, neither can your soul remain in shadow when divine renewal has begun. When morning comes after a night of prayer, something invisible changes. You open your eyes not only to the world, but to peace that feels newly born. The air seems softer, the sounds gentler, even your own heartbeat quieter. The world outside may look the same, yet within you, something has awakened. The flame of Saint Michael that guarded your rest has not vanished. It has become the quiet glow that guides your steps into a new day. What yesterday held as weight, today feels lighter, because faith has begun to replace fear. The dawn is a symbol of resurrection. Every sunrise repeats the victory of Christ over darkness. Just as he rose from the tomb while the world still slept, your spirit now rises from the grave of despair into the breath of hope. Depression and sleeplessness lose their dominion when the soul remembers that God renews life every morning. Lamentations chapter 3 verse 23 declares, "His mercies are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness." This is not a distant promise. It is the very reason the sun rises again. Each day exists as proof that heaven refuses to leave you in darkness. When you look toward the dawn, see it as more than light. It is God's gentle hand pulling back the curtain of the night to reveal a new beginning. Saint Michael stands on the horizon of your soul, watching the first rays spread across your heart. He has fought for this peace. He has guarded your rest and silenced the voices that spoke against you. Now, as the world awakens, he steps aside, allowing the warmth of divine mercy to touch your face. What once felt impossible now feels bearable. What once was unbearable now feels redeemable. There will still be days when heaviness tries to return, when fatigue lingers, when thoughts feel clouded again. But the dawn teaches endurance. It whispers that light always wins, even if clouds hide it for a time. Saint Michael's protection is not a single act, but an ongoing presence. He walks with you into each morning, unseen but unfailing, defending your peace as fiercely in daylight as he did in the dark. You are not returning to the same life you had before. You are entering it renewed, with armor forged in prayer. Each new sunrise is an altar where gratitude is the only fitting offering. As you witness the first light, whisper words of thanks. Thank you, Lord, for this new beginning. Thank you for hearing me when I could not speak. Thank you for fighting for me through the night. Saint Michael, continue to guard my steps and guide my mind in peace. Gratitude keeps the heart open to grace, and grace keeps light alive within the soul. Now, as the dawn unfolds, let it be more than a change of hour. Let it be a change of heart. The night that once terrified you has served its holy purpose. It has become the place where healing began, where faith was reborn, where God proved that he was closer than your pain. You no longer fear the coming of night, for you have seen what follows it. You know that no darkness can erase what heaven has written in light. And so, with calm strength, you can look upon the day ahead and know The same God who brings the morning will sustain you through every evening yet to come. Let this sunrise be your covenant sign, a reminder that deliverance is not a moment, but a movement, a daily renewal of faith. The dawn is God's gentle voice repeating his eternal vow, that light will always return, that peace will always rise, and that no shadow will ever have the final say. The promise stands, as sure as the morning. The one who endured the night now walks in the light of victory. A blessing for the soul, peace for the mind and heart. Now comes the moment of blessing, not as ceremony, but as grace flowing from heaven upon every heart that has prayed, wept, or endured. You who have journeyed through darkness and faced the weight of sleepless nights are no longer the same. Something in you has shifted, the chains have loosened, and even if some heaviness remains, its power has been broken. The blessing that now descends is not fleeting comfort but divine strength, the quiet assurance that God has seen, heard, and answered. You are being wrapped in a peace that the world cannot understand and no force of darkness can undo. This blessing begins with the mind, where the battle once raged the fiercest. May every thought that once carried fear be replaced by truth. May every lie that whispered despair be silenced by the voice of God. May your mind be cleansed of memories that wound and filled instead with the promises that heal. When the night returns, it will no longer bring torment, but rest. When the day begins, it will not overwhelm, but renew. Let Saint Michael stand at the gate of your thoughts, allowing only what leads to peace, wisdom, and hope to enter. Your mind is no longer a battlefield. It is a sanctuary where the Holy Spirit dwells. Now the blessing flows into the heart. The heart has carried the pain of loss, the ache of exhaustion, and the hidden fear of being forgotten. But tonight, that heart is being anointed with divine tenderness. Feel it now. The warmth that spreads through your chest, the soft rhythm of life returning to harmony. This is God restoring your emotional strength, rebuilding your capacity to love, to feel, to hope. Every tear you have shed has watered the soil of renewal. From it will rise patience, gratitude, and quiet joy. May Saint Michael stand near, guarding your heart from the shadows of bitterness and fear. May he whisper courage into every place that once felt fragile. This blessing reaches also into your soul, the eternal part of you that belongs wholly to God. Depression may have touched your emotions, but it could never reach your soul, for that space is sealed by divine ownership. Your soul has endured the storm and now stands clothed in light. Heaven recognizes you as one who has fought the good fight, who has stood in faith even when faith felt impossible. Receive now the blessing of renewal, a deep, abiding peace that flows not from circumstance but from presence. It is the peace Christ promised when he said in John chapter 14, verse 27, "My peace I give to you, not as the world gives, do I give to you." Now lift your heart in gratitude, even if only in silence. Say within yourself, "Lord, I receive this peace. I accept this renewal. I believe that you are with me." Feel the weight leaving your shoulders, the tension dissolving from your spirit. The angels rejoice when a heart chooses peace over fear. You have chosen faith over despair, and heaven honors that choice. You may not yet see all that has changed, but your soul already knows. Deliverance has begun, and restoration is underway. Let this blessing continue to unfold as you live each day. When the mind begins to wander, return to this moment. When anxiety tries to speak, remember that the voice of peace has already spoken louder. When night comes again, do not dread it. Welcome it as a familiar friend, for it will bring with it the same divine calm that you feel now. The angels do not abandon what God has healed. They continue to guard it. You walk now under a shield of grace. The Archangel remains beside you, not only as protector but as witness of your transformation. So receive this final declaration into your spirit. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you and fill you with serenity. May His Spirit guard your thoughts, His love strengthen your heart, and His mercy dwell within your soul. And may Saint Michael the Archangel, defender of peace and truth, continue to surround you with the light of heaven until all fear has vanished and all rest is restored. This is your blessing. It will not fade with the night. Carry it into your mornings, speak it over your days, and let it accompany your dreams. You are not merely healed, you are being made whole. The mind at rest, the heart at peace, and the soul illuminated, this is the work of God completed in you. Rest now and let that peace remain. Final invocation, the seal of Saint Michael's light. Now, in this sacred final moment, everything that has been spoken, prayed, and surrendered must be sealed in divine protection. What God begins through prayer, He preserves through faith. This is the closing invocation, not an ending, but a consecration. You stand now between heaven and earth, under the light of the Archangel who has walked with you through darkness and brought you into peace. What you will speak now is not mere conclusion but covenant. Each word becomes a seal, a spiritual barrier that ensures no darkness can return, no fear can reclaim what has been restored. Let your heart grow still. Feel the air around you settle. The light of Saint Michael begins to surround you once more, brighter now than ever, not the light of battle but of triumph. The room becomes calm, heavy with holiness. You are no longer a soul searching for peace, you are one crowned with it. The Archangel lifts his sword, now burning with the gentlest flame, and traces a circle of fire around you, the divine perimeter of safety that no shadow can cross. Inside this circle, your mind, your heart, and your soul are declared untouchable, belonging fully to God. Now speak this prayer slowly, with conviction and reverence. Saint Michael the Archangel, protector of heaven's children, I thank you for standing guard over my soul, my mind, and my rest. By the authority of God Almighty, seal this peace within me. Let your light form a shield that no darkness can penetrate. Defend my thoughts from fear, my nights from unrest, and my heart from despair. Wherever I go, let your presence go before me. Wherever I rest, let your wings cover me. Wherever I struggle, let your strength fight for me. I now place myself, my family, and my home under your eternal protection. As these words leave your lips, imagine the seal of light descending from heaven, a radiant circle closing gently over your home, over your bed, over your spirit. It glows not with earthly fire, but with the living brilliance of divine truth. You may not see it, but in the eyes of angels it burns brightly, a visible mark declaring that you belong to the kingdom of light. No curse, no fear, no memory of sorrow can cross this threshold. The peace of God is now established as law within your life, and Saint Michael stands as its guardian. The Archangel looks upon you now not as one who suffers, but as one who has conquered through faith. He bows slightly before the Creator, acknowledging the victory that has been achieved, not by sword alone, but by prayer, endurance, and surrender. In that moment, all of heaven rejoices, for another soul has been reclaimed from despair into light. The angels surrounding you sing silently, and that silent song becomes the rhythm of your heart as it beats in peace once more. Now whisper these final words of faith as both closure and commitment. Saint Michael, stand guard tonight and always. Protect my mind from despair, my heart from fear, and my nights from unrest. Guard my dreams, my thoughts, and my peace now and forever. I am sealed in the light of God, and my life belongs to Him alone. Let there be silence now, a holy silence, filled with the certainty that everything has been completed. You are sealed, guarded, and renewed. The journey of 21 days will continue. but its foundation has been laid in eternal truth. The seal will remain as long as faith abides, and faith will endure as long as God reigns. The light around you softens, but it does not fade. It rests like dawn, waiting to rise again. The Archangel steps back, his watch unending, his presence unwavering. You are not alone, you will never be alone again. The night is over, the battle finished, and the light has won. Rest in this truth, sleep in this peace, and live in this victory. The seal of St. Michael's light now marks your soul, unbreakable, eternal, divine.